Well, tomorrow, opening statements begin in the trial of the man once considered to be the world's most ruthless drug trafficker, Joaquin El Chapo Guzman, accused of conspiring to kill rivals as he ran his massive empire. Prosecutors say he used planes, boats, even submarines to traffic drugs across 4 continents, allegedly raking in $14 billion over 20 years. He once even appeared on Forbes' list of the world's billionaires. This is the man who has broken out of Mexican prisons twice, allegedly by using his vast resources on bribes, even escaping a max security prison through a tunnel a mile long. El Chapo, known for carrying a diamond-encrusted pistol, gold-plated AK-47 as well. So let's talk about just all aspects of this case as it begins. Joining me now, Larry Levine, spent some time as an inmate behind bars and helps others who are headed behind bars survive that. So we'll talk about what life could be like for El Chapo as he awaits trial behind bars. But let's talk about this jury, Larry. So from what we gather, this jury is going to remain anonymous. They're going to be transported to and from the courthouse by armed U.S. Marshals. The judge told the jurors, do not look at El Chapo. One juror cried, seemed fearful. Are you concerned for this jury's safety?
I was a member of that jury. I'd kind of be terrified, even being who I am. I mean, this guy's got a long reach, a lot of resources, and they're not going to publicize. It's not like the O.J. trial where they're going to have cameras and, I don't know, the media in there, but they should be concerned. I mean, this guy gets the one juror. He could influence the jury. And the U.S. Marshals, they're tasked at protecting the jurors, protecting the judge, the prosecutors, members of the court, but this is not an average trial. And they have to move this guy back and forth from the detention center to the courthouse. So there's a lot of opportunity there, I guess, to snatch and grab him, even though it's a heavily armed convoy, but things have been done. And remember that let's say this was me and I wanted to get to the jury, unless they're picking up the jurors, let's say at a secluded point somewhere outside the city, taking them in a bus that has the windows blacked out. You're going underneath the courthouse into a tunnel in the parking garage. Somebody could see who the jurors are. I mean, I would have people out on the street. I'd be filming it over a period of days, looking at license plates, tracking who's going in or out. I would have started that ahead of time so I could have kind of isolated it down like a database, who's a member of the court staff and who's here just today during this period of time. So if you have a logistical mind, you could put all this together.
So you have a concern there. On the flip side, you've got some potential jurors, and they weren't on the jury, but they were fans of the guy. I mean, you had one guy saying he wanted an autograph. His quote was, "I'm a bit of a fan." Another juror had ordered the El Chapo bagel sandwich. In cases like this, how much are mob groupies, to use that phrase, a part of this?
Well, the court, the prosecutor and the prosecutor and the defense lawyers, they have what's called a preemptory challenge, where they give them a pool of jurors. I understand in this case, maybe there was tens of thousands of potential jurors. They questioned the jurors, and they were able to excuse people. So if the prosecutors had a concern that somebody might be leaning towards El Chapo, they could have gotten rid of him. Remember, in our country, you're supposed to be judged by a jury of your peers. Well, a jury of his peers are what? A bunch of other drug dealers and people from a foreign country? These aren't his peers. These are people that are being asked to judge somebody that killed a lot of people, had a lot of people killed, money laundering, narcotics charges. I mean, this is a serious thing. This is a dangerous guy.
Yeah.
And I imagine these people really aren't sleeping at night. They won't be thinking clear.
You had mentioned when we first started his reach. So what can he do from behind bars? I mean, does he still have a hand in operations of his, of his drug cartel?
Well, a normal federal inmate, let's say at MCC or MDC there in New York, you're going to be out on a GP floor, general population, where you'll have access to the telephones. You'll be able to get social visits. You could pass information back and forth. But where he's being held at in the SHU, the special housing unit, they probably have a telephone that's like on a dolly, and they're wheeling it down the hall. They're opening a little hatch on his cell door. Maybe he can reach out there and make a phone call, hit the touch tone buttons, but they're monitoring everything he does. So he has influence. Maybe he'll give hand signals, eye signals. Maybe this guy's developed a code in advance. But he can always pass a message. I don't know his lawyers. If his lawyers are in on it, he could pass a message to them. Now, I heard that he wanted to be able to give his wife a hug and kiss, and the judge denied it. I don't see much of a threat there. He's got a U.S. Marshal on both sides of him, a couple standing in front of him. The wife comes into the courthouse. They're going to run her through a metal detector. They're going to take a wand in front of her, make sure that she doesn't have anything. I mean, I guess they can make her open her mouth. They do this when, like in a county jail situation, when inmates are having visits, the husband and wife kiss each other. They're passing contraband. They're passing drugs. But going into this courthouse, they're going to wand her mouth, make sure that she doesn't have any metal objects. So I think it's kind of foolish. Any message he wanted to pass to the outside, he doesn't have to tell his wife. He can just give it to the lawyer.
All right. Larry, always good talking to you. Larry Levine joining us as, again, the El Chapo case. Opening statements begin tomorrow.